I wanted to provide a framework and structure for you to use astrology to find more alignment and abundance in your life. As somebody who used to be a workaholic and used to think that if you weren't working 40 hours a week, you were totally unproductive and had a shitty work ethic, stepping into a new work schedule that has less hustle and more flow has been so life-changing for me, not only in my business, but also in my personal life. And I wanted to share this process with you to let you know that you don't have to work 40 hours a week to be successful in your own business. You don't have to work 50, 60 hours a week to make it. You don't always have to be hustling. You simply have to be working and living in alignment, and the things that you want will come to you if you are fully aligned in your purpose and in your meaning. Hi, my name is Daniela Brown and welcome to my channel. This is my first YouTube video ever, and honestly, I am simultaneously nervous and excited. This is something that I have been wanting to do for a really long time, but I honestly have not had the balls to do it. So I decided to just bite the bullet and create my first video. I really wanted this video to be focused on using astrology to align yourself in abundance and enjoy in your work week. I posted a little bit about this in an Instagram post on my Instagram that I'll put up here. And I basically just talked about the planetary rulers and a broad overview of how I use that to plan what I want to do for my week. And as I have been having more conversations with people, I've noticed that this post has been so helpful, and I want to give you guys more insight into what planetary rulers really look like and how they're affecting you on a day-to-day basis. I've also created an astrological alignment calendar that you can purchase in the link in the description, where I actually included all the planetary rulers in a Google Calendar, and I've also broken down an example of my work schedule and how I use the planetary rulers to work each day as a freelance creative director. I've also included tutorials in there if you want to customize it to your own needs, or if you're just wondering how to import it into your actual calendar. It's all in there, along with a workbook and exercises, so that you can figure out how to align yourself better with what is happening celestially. I just want to dive right into it because honestly, there is a lot of information to unpack, so let's just go. Monday is ruled by the moon, and the moon is also the ruler of the astrology sign Cancer. So if you are somebody who has a strong Cancer placement in your chart, you might feel more of this moon energy. I'm somebody who has their moon in Cancer, so I have a really strong moon placement because it's in the sign of its rulership, and also because it's conjoined to Lilith. I just have a lot of moody energy sometimes, and so I've noticed that on Mondays I usually like to spend that time tapping back into my self-care. I'm somebody who tends to put off self-care until it's way too late and I'm already burnt out, and I've noticed as I've moved it to the beginning of my week, when I'm already feeling kind of funky and might be in my feelings, I'm able to tap into the nurturing energy that the moon has to offer. But I also love to use Mondays as a way to tap into my intuition and do a lot of intuitive creative work. So since I'm a creative director, this looks like mood boarding and planning and conceptualizing kind of what I want the project to look like, and just really leaning into what it feels like. And I also find that this is a really great day for me to plan for my needs. So if I am knowing that I have a lot of meetings coming up this week, or I know that I'm going to be running a lot of errands, then I know that on Monday I should be setting aside time to either take care of myself a little bit extra, or planning times throughout the week where I can make sure that my self-care is being prioritized. So in conclusion, Moon Day / Monday is a wonderful day for you to tap into your intuition, tap into your self-care, tap into your nurturing mother energy, and use that to fill yourself up to prepare for the week ahead. So Tuesdays are ruled by Mars, and Mars rules the sign of Aries. So this is an action day, and I love Tuesdays. Honestly, once I found out that Tuesdays were ruled by Mars, I realized that I was able to tap into all of this abundant energy that I have within me. I tend to use these days to focus really on collaboration. So because I am so goal-oriented and action-oriented on this day, I love to meet with my teams. So on Tuesday mornings, I meet with Jessie, my co-founder over at Unoya. It's a branding agency that we started where we help brands intentionally create their brand identity together. And I feel like we both are able to get so much done in our meeting, but also throughout the rest of the day. And also making sure that it happens really early in the week is crucial, so that if there's anything urgent that needs to happen before the week is out, we're able to tackle it really early on. This is also a time that I love to meet with Liarda, who's my co-host over at the Creative Therapy Podcast. And we love to plan out what we have coming up for podcast episodes, what we have going on for guests, outreach, those types of things. And I also like to sometimes spend a little bit of time planning social media if I didn't get it done on Monday. So I do leave myself some leniency, which really helps me tap back into feeling actionable and feeling connected to the people that I'm working with. And I also love to use this as a way to tap into like my physical activity. I am not somebody who likes to work out all the time, but if I do, Tuesdays are a good day for me to tap into that, because I am able to use all of the restless energy that I feel and have an outlet for that. My Mars in my chart is conjoined to my Sun, so I have a lot of energy all the time, and I notice on Tuesdays I'm able to tap into that even more. And because it's in the sign of Pisces, I'm able to tap into it in a creative way. So that's how I love to express my energy, is through my creativity, and that's really what Mars signifies in your chart, is how you like to express your energy and where you feel most comfortable doing that. If you are someone who has a strong Mars placement, or maybe if you have a weaker Mars placement and you struggle with tapping into your energy, Tuesdays is a great day for you to kind of rekindle that relationship with yourself. It's important to read into your chart and see exactly how you like to express your energy so that you can tap in deeper into this on your Tuesdays. Next up, we have Wednesday, and Wednesday is my second favorite day because it is my second most productive day. The reason is because it's ruled by Mercury, and Mercury represents your mind and your communication, and it also rules the signs of both Virgo and Gemini. So this is something that's really important for you to understand if you want to know how you can better communicate with other people. As I've been learning more about my Mercury, I have found that my communication has improved with other people, it's improved with my partner, and it's also improved internally with myself, because I am better able to understand how I think and how I communicate and how that differs from the world around me. So my Mercury is in Aquarius, so that means I tend to take a pretty humanitarian approach to the way that I think. I think really holistically. I like to see the big picture. I want to know exactly what's going on and where people need support and help. And so I love to use Wednesdays as a way to communicate with my clients and really spend this day just speaking to people, whether that means doing client calls or if I'm going to be writing website copy, any client-facing documents. I really love to work on this day because I feel like my mind is so much more clear. And because I have a lot of action steps that I had set on Tuesday, I have a pretty strong idea of what it is that I want to accomplish, and I'm able to just sit down and get it done. And again, because it is a very mental heavy day, I realize that I'm also able to focus a lot longer. So usually I've noticed that my focus kind of caps out at maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours at most. But on Wednesdays, I've noticed that I'm able to stay more focused and maybe even have more longer periods of time where I'm able to get things done. Even if I work a longer day on Wednesday, I make up for it by taking a shorter day on Monday or maybe on Friday, so that I'm not overworking myself, but I'm still paying attention to what I need and what my energy level is at. So in conclusion, I would encourage you to use Wednesdays as a day to improve your communication with other people, to work on anything that requires a lot of mental attention and a lot of mental energy, because you're going to be able to find more access to this on Wednesdays. Next up, we have Thursday, and Thursday is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is such a happy planet for a lot of people. I personally kind of have a difficult Jupiter placement because it's in Capricorn, so I have a really hard time leaning into that Jupiterian energy unless it is structured. So that's something that I've noticed for me on Thursdays, because it is kind of the last day of my work week. I typically only work Monday through Thursday, that I need a lot of structure on this day to make sure that I am able to lean into the flow that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday have to offer. I also noticed that Jupiter is a wonderful day to focus on money because I want to attract more of it, and so I love to do all of my accounting and my money management first thing in the morning on Thursdays, because I like to swallow the frog and just get it done so I don't have to think about it anymore, and then I can use that to fuel my momentum for the rest of the day if I have any tasks that I need to finish up before I can be done for the week, and then also use that to flow into attracting more of what I want into my life. Personally, that's what works for me, but maybe you might notice that you have a less complicated Jupiter placement, or maybe a more free-flowing Jupiter placement where you're really able to tap into the abundance that it has to offer. So I always encourage people to use Thursdays as a day to just tap into what you want more of. It's a really strong day for manifestation. I love to use this day to plan for my manifestation groups that I lead once a month on Fridays, because I really want to tap into the energy and the abundance that Jupiter has to offer. And I also want to attract more of whatever I'm doing on this day. So I love to spend this time creating. I love to spend this time working with other people. I really love to spend this time just connecting back to what makes me feel creative and reminding myself that yes, I've gotten so much accomplished on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but on Thursday, it's time to wrap it all up and bring it together and kind of put a pretty bow on it and say, okay, what is the purpose behind all of this and why am I doing this? And so I really love to use this time to just tap back into what I am wanting in alignment with my life. So I may not be focusing too much on like a specific task group, but more on the type of energy that I want to cultivate during this day. So in conclusion, I encourage you to use Thursdays as a way to manifest what you want more of, to lean into abundance, to think about what you want in your life, and kind of starting to think about wrapping up your week and how all of those things connect. Next up, we have Friday, and Friday is ruled by Venus, which honestly, I love Venus. It is one of my favorite planets because it rules both the signs of Libra and Taurus. I personally have my North Node in Libra, so I feel super connected to that Venus energy and feeling like it is kind of connected to my core purpose of creation and beauty. And so I love to use Fridays as a day to just connect back to the people that I care about, because I've already gotten so much work done early in the week and I've really just tapped into my most productive days. So I love to use this time to connect with my friends on a morning coffee chat. I try to schedule one every single Friday with any friend that'll have a coffee with me over FaceTime, because I've noticed that doing this on Friday mornings just helps me remember how loving and supportive my community is, how connected I am to the people around me, and it also reminds me to be more intentional with having the relationships that I have with my friends. I've noticed that in my adulthood, especially post Panini, as one of my friends said the other day, it can be really, really hard to kind of have those intentional relationships again. So incorporating this practice of having a Friday morning coffee with one of my friends over FaceTime has been such a wonderful addition to my week and just fills me with so much love and joy. And I also tend to do my manifestations on Friday nights. So I only do this about once a month, but this is also a wonderful time to do it because I'm just surrounded by people that I love and care about, and we're inviting more of that abundance and love into our lives. Friday is just a wonderful day to tap back into love. So if you have people that you care about in your life, this is a wonderful day to connect back to them. And if you don't have people that you really necessarily want to connect to, this is a wonderful day to focus on self-care and also just absorbing more beauty into your life. So I love to spend this time also to go to museums, check out art shows, go to music shows, all of those different things, because I realized that using this energy of love and abundance overflowing from Thursday just really connects me back to my center self. And I really, really encourage you to use Friday as just like your fun day. Next up, we have Saturday, and Saturday is, surprise, ruled by Saturn. And Saturn rules the sign of Capricorn, and Saturn can be a difficult placement for a lot of people. I know some people really struggle with their Saturn, and especially if you've gone through a Saturn return or your Saturn return is upcoming. I know Saturn gets so much bad flack, but honestly, I want to encourage you guys not to necessarily view Saturn as something that is restrictive, but something that instead is providing structure. I noticed that Saturdays are a good day to either lean into structure or just release all expectation of structure completely. So I definitely use this time to recenter myself with new week rituals and figure out exactly what I want to do in the upcoming week. But I also use this time, if I'm not feeling centered in my rituals or in my routines, to just let go of that and say, it's okay, today I don't need a routine. Maybe I've been really productive this week, maybe I haven't, but I don't need the routine today. And so I'm just going to give myself permission to let loose and to feel whatever feels good. And I know that that's not super helpful for a lot of people. If you're somebody who prefers more structure, I definitely encourage you to look into your Saturn placement and seeing exactly what challenges you might have there and how you can use Saturday as a way to kind of heal some of that relationship. I personally have my Saturn in Pisces, so it's honestly not that bad of a placement because it is a very creative energy. So I've just noticed that in the way that I approach my creativity, it is really structured. So on Saturday, I also use that day to create content. So right now I'm recording this on a Saturday, so it makes a lot of sense that this has been a wonderful day for me to create because I'm able to tap into that creative energy once again, and I am able to do that in a way that is either structured or in a way that is completely free flowing. So figure out how you want to use your Saturdays. This is really up to you. I don't want to push you to do anything specific on this day. Just really look into what the placements in your chart look like and how you can instead lean into the structure or just let go of it, because sometimes if you try to force something, it's just not going to work. So it's better to just listen to what you really need and instead give yourself that. Lastly, we have Sunday, and Sunday is, surprise, ruled by the sun. And I love this day to spend time just getting yourself back in alignment. I refer to my sun sign as kind of like my truest self or my core self. And so I love to use Sunday as this time to connect back to that, do my new week rituals if I wasn't able to do them on Saturday, and just really tap into what I'm wanting to cultivate into the future. So this also helps me think about what I'm going to be doing on Monday, if I need to focus more on self-care, if I've had a really rough week in the past week, or if instead I'm feeling more intuitive and more connected to that moon energy, then I'm able to focus more on work at that time. So it just really helps me get connected and check in with myself, because this is kind of like a me day that I really like to spend time with my husband, and we like to do things together, but mentally I'm really thinking about what am I going to be needing for the upcoming week? How has the past week treated me? And what can I do to be more in alignment with myself moving forward? So Sundays really are just a day to ask yourself what you really want. Ask yourself kind of those hard questions, because you're going to be more tapped into that core self and you're going to be able to answer them a little bit more honestly. So I encourage you to just use your Sundays as a way to be really intentional with your conversations with yourself and figuring out how you can continue to move closer into alignment. Okay, those are all of the planetary rulers. That was a lot of information. I'm sorry if I was long-winded or if things are confusing. Everything that I have learned about astrology has been through my husband and his parents. They've all been astrologers for over 30 years, and I have also done a lot of my own research as well in putting this video together. But please, if you are an astrologer or have any experience with astrology at all, please leave your feedback in your comments, because I would love to hear your perspective. I am constantly learning new things, and I feel like sharing my experience and what I've learned so far hopefully is helpful for you. If you're interested in purchasing the astrology alignment calendar, I've put the link in the description below so that you can check it out. Again, it has videos with tutorials and a workbook in there so that you can figure out how to align all of the different tasks and activities that you do throughout the week with the different planetary rulers, and has a little bit more information in there so that you can get closer to finding alignment and finding abundance. Thank you so much for watching my first video. I will definitely be making more in the future. If you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you do that, because I'm constantly posting content and behind the scenes and just like silly, goofy things. So if you care about that, or if you came from there, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.